Okay, so in this next shot, in shifting gears, we're going to go with the Hensel. We're going to use the Nova, which is the studio pack that they have. And we're also going to use the Chimera Octabox. It's got a couple of different layers of diffusion on it. Without question, I want this to look more like the original with the Para 88. So we're going to take this diffusion off. I'm probably going to take this inner baffled off and start there as well and see what it looks like. So let's take a look at this light. It's not quite as deep as the Broncolor Para 88, but it's close. This will have a different feel because with the Para 88, the light is actually facing in and it's shooting in and the light's coming back. This is a little bit different because we've got a deep softbox. It's kind of an octabox shape, so it's similar to the 88, but the light is pointed out instead of going back in and bouncing out. It's coming directly out. So it's going to give us a different quality. And let's take a look and we'll analyze whether we like it or not. I took out the inner baffled here. I want the light to just be a little bit closer to the Para 88 by not having any diffusion between the bulb and the Roscoe. So I pulled that out. Let me get it in place. My power settings are pretty similar to that of what I had on the Broncolor, so I'm going to begin there and see what this system looks like in comparison. So we're going to switch out our equipment, and that includes switching our triggers. We're going to go from the Studio trigger to the Pocket Wizard Plus X. I'm on channel 7, do a little firing test, make sure it's working. I'm just going to take a quick shot. A little bit darker. So I know this does not have the same output as the Para 88. The Para 88 is just a very, very efficient reflector. In fact, Broncolor is known for that. They are incredibly efficient. A 1600 watt second pack can give you more output than a 4800 output pack on, say, Norman or Speedotron or another pack. They're really efficient lights. So let's bump up our light here. I'm going to say a good stop and a half. Let's see if this gives us a similar look. I like it. I like it a lot. Now let's do a side-by-side comparison and see what it looks like against the Broncolor. All right, so this is pretty interesting. I've got my Broncolor image on the left and my Hensel image on the right. And you can see that the images are very similar. There is a bit of a difference in the Broncolor in that the color temperature is a little bit warmer. That is a feature that Broncolor actually offers, is the ability to adjust color temperature with the power pack. That's a rare thing. Very few companies actually build that technology into their power packs, but Broncolor does, and it's one thing that I like. I find it advantageous for the way I shoot, where you can actually add a little bit of warmth or you can cool it out just a bit by adjusting the power pack itself. The Hensel doesn't have that, but it's a very clean light. If you look at it, its edges are nice and crisp. It's really maintaining the same quality that the Broncolor is, but there will be a big price difference in the two. So it's one of those things where you have to assess what is, the most appropriate for you. I happen to like both of these images a lot. Now, just as a reminder, nothing on the set has changed. The food is exactly where it was. The camera settings are absolutely identical. The only thing we changed was the light source itself and the power pack. So that's the difference between the Para 88 and the Hensel. Now, let's make one last quick change and let's see what that Alien Bees looks like pushing through a white umbrella. This is the Alien Bee, so this is a little bit more of your entry level without question, particularly when you compare to Broncolor or even with the Hensel. So all we have here is the simple little monoblock. I'm going to crank it up to full power and I'm going to push it through this umbrella. I want to see what kind of light quality we get. This is the closest thing to mimicking the Para that we have with this particular system. So let's take a look at it. Again, I'm going right on the exact same mark, so I'm keeping everything as consistent as possible. I know that all the light sources are coming from the exact same position. I'm going to raise this up to the same height as my other lights and tip it down just a bit. All right, so let's see what we get. We're going to keep the comparison up there. So the Broncolor image is on the left, the new Alien Bees image is on the right, and you can see a huge difference in exposure. Something that's kind of interesting here, the Broncolor image on the left, that was using the Para 88, and my power setting was at 5.0 on a 1600 watt pack. The Alien Bee is 800 watt pack, 800 watt second, and it's on full power. So really and truly, the amount of power that's coming through this is pretty darn close, with the exception that the modifiers are very different. The quality of light is very different in the way it's coming out of there. You can see that the Alien Bees is just significantly darker. So in order to compensate for that, I want to do a couple of quick tests. I want to see what the Alien Bees looks like without the umbrella, where it's just bare bulb coming through that diffusion, and see if I can't get a light that's kind of similar to the Broncolor. Let's see what this looks like. So that's the bare bulb coming through, and even taking off that umbrella diffusion, you can see that the light output is still not nearly as close. It's greatly diminished, and it just doesn't have that same directional quality that the Para did. In some of these areas to the left, you can really see the quality of light being different. The shadows are coming from the same direction, but it doesn't have nearly the power. So when we do a side-by-side comparison, there's no question that there's a difference in the output and the quality of light between the Alien Bees and the Broncolor. That being said, I can absolutely work with this Alien Bees light. It's not a bad light whatsoever. It's incredibly inexpensive. It's a base light, it's entry level. It's not built to last for 40 years. I mean, Broncolor will last forever. But that's okay. This is a nice quality light. If I were to bring it in, fine tune it a little bit, I can craft this Alien Bees light to get to a similar place as that of the Broncolor, or at the very least I can get it to a point where I'm very comfortable and very proud of the light quality that's coming out of the Alien Bee. Alright, so there you have it. We've got three different comparisons. We've got the Broncolor, we've got the Hensel, and we've got the Alien Bees. All three do a very, very nice job. Take a look for yourself and make some judgments on what you think is the better light for you.